Good morning. Good morning. My last morning in Freehold. I am so proud of New Jersey. The map for coronavirus came out this morning, and the only green state, this little blip of green, the only green state is New Jersey. I am so proud of them. It's not by no means over, but New Jerseyans have really come together to flatten the curve. I am so proud of my home state of New Jersey. Good morning, good morning. Hi, Marcia. Good morning, everybody. That coffee is from yesterday and not nearly as good, but it's fine. Oof. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. And a special super be careful to my friends in Texas. I am hearing crazy things coming out of Texas right now about this virus. It's freaking me out. Tennessee. Oof. I just think I read something where the hospitals in certain parts of Texas are completely at capacity for COVID. Anyway, good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful day here in New Jersey. The weather is gorgeous. I don't want to read about any COVID parties. I do not want to know about any COVID parties. I would like to think, happy birthday, Caitlin, that we will not have COVID parties. Please talk to your teenagers, talk to your college students. Please tell them. It's not like the days of the chickenpox parties that we used to have when we were young. God, I don't understand these kids. Stacy, you are a valued commenter, silly McNilly. Michelle, I would like to finish my conversation from yesterday, but I don't know that my ADD will allow it because it's so hard for me. Happy birthday, Althea. Brittany just started the podcast, so I hopped on here to listen. Great. Please go back and listen. Guys, the new episode of the podcast is out this morning. It is about sex. It is about what happens when one person in a committed relationship wants sex and the other one does not. It's about figuring out how to get your M&Ms. The questions are so good. You guys blew my mind. You guys blew my mind on the questions that you emailed and called in about. If you have not yet subscribed to the podcast, please consider subscribing to Tell Me What to Do with Jamie Premack Sullivan. This second episode is so good. It's funny. It's important. It addresses the things that made me feel shame for a long time in my marriage. I think you guys are going to love it. Please download Tell Me What to Do with Jamie Premack Sullivan anywhere you can find podcasts. So the name of the podcast is Tell Me What to Do with Jamie Premack Sullivan. You can get it on Apple Podcasts. You can get it on Stitcher, Spotify, Google, iHeart, anywhere you can find podcasts. So please, and let me know what you think. I would love to know. Hi, Dale. Okay, I want to talk to you guys about something interesting. Are you guys so excited? I'm wearing a wedding band. I never wear any wedding band. And I just realized I'm wearing it. It actually looks nice on my finger. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you to everyone who's subscribing. Oh, I love this. Everyone's like, I finally found it. Okay. So I think we can all admit that we bring unique experiences to conversation when we talk to people. We experience things other people don't experience. We have pain, we have trauma other people have never experienced. My girlfriend and I had a conversation last night after 2 tequilas where she feels like she is a bastard child. I hate this term. And I kept trying to talk her out of the term. Don't say that. I don't like that. That's not what it... And she finally was like, stop. It's my experience. You don't get to tell me how to talk about it or how to feel about it. It's my pain. It's my trauma. And I am educating you. So you can either listen to what I'm saying, even if it makes you uncomfortable, or we can stop talking about it right now. And I was like, ooh, don't send me any stars, Danny. Stars cost money. I don't need any money. Coffee talk is free. So what I realized in that moment is so often people want to discuss what they've been through. And when we are uncomfortable with someone's trauma, we try to explain it away. We try to diminish it. We try to, it's okay. You're going to be great. It's not that big of a deal. And sometimes people need to be heard at the place of their trauma. They need to be heard at the source, at the well, at the fountain of their pain. And when they pull you close to that, if you've never experienced it, it's real uncomfortable for you. I don't like where this is going. I don't want to get close to that feeling. I don't like the terminology. I don't like assault. I don't like rape. I don't like abandonment. I don't want to get close to it. And what happens is we make the people around us expose themselves over and over and over again for us to try to understand what they are going through, right? And then it's exhausting for them. It's exhausting. It's like ripping a scab off 50 times. Because we've never experienced it. How bad could it be? You're making a big deal out of nothing. Think about the children you do have. That was my favorite. When I lost the baby after Max and I laid in the darkness, everybody kept saying, but think about the kids you do have. Let me talk about it. If you want to love me, get close to it. Try to understand it. You may not relate to it. You may not understand it. It may not have ever happened to you, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It is very much hot button topic right now, but it is very much like racism. When people say, I have had this experience, let me pull you close to what it feels like, we go, no, I've never seen that. That's not how it happened. That's not what it's like. And people who have experienced racism go, really? I'm sorry that it makes you uncomfortable, but this is my life. This is what I feel. This is what I experienced. So like divorce, like rape, like being abandoned by a parent, like whatever, when someone tells you that they have experienced something, you don't get to say, no, you haven't. It's not that big of a deal, because your privilege allows you to say it's not that big of a deal. If you've never lost a child, you get to stand back and go, think about the kids you do have. Oh, you're right. I should just give a little thought to the kids I do have. If you've never experienced trauma, abandonment from a parent, then you get to say, don't say bastard child. Don't say abandoned. Don't you have word. You don't feel like that. Don't do that because you're uncomfortable. I get it. When someone tells you they've experienced sexism or racism and you've never experienced it, that is your privilege allowing you to go, I don't know why it's such a big deal. I never experienced that. It's not a thing. I don't get it. With the marching, with the protesting, with the conversation. Why do gay people need to march? Why do rape survivors want to be heard? Why do people who are abandoned by their parents have such a fucking problem with it? Because it is real and it is happening to people, and everybody just wants to feel seen and heard. And so if we lead with empathy, if we think about things that have happened to us that we have brought to the feet of other people. Think about experiences you've had in your life, being laid off, struggling financially. Could you imagine if during quarantine I was like, I don't know why y'all worried about money. I'm not worried about money. I'm looking around like, money is fine. Who's worried about money? You're going to be fine. Don't worry about money. You're going to be all right. Make some peanut butter and jelly. You are fine. Think about the people really struggling financially. How dismissive and hurtful that would feel. So how about the people saying right now, well, their pain is not my problem? Okay, true. My pain is not your problem. You are absolutely right. My trauma is not your problem. It is my responsibility to do the best thing I can for my pain and my trauma. So if education is my way, let's say I'm an addict and I want to speak to people about addiction, not because I want them to get uncomfortable, but because I want them to understand. I want them to have empathy for people who are struggling with addiction, living with addiction, thriving with addiction. That's the way. If I've experienced financial struggles, I don't want you to have to struggle to get it. I don't want you to have to be in the trenches. I don't want you to cry yourself to sleep at night. I just want you to understand what it feels like for me, what my experience has been like, and for you to remember that if it hasn't happened to you, if you're not living with addiction, if you haven't struggled with financially, if you're whatever the case may be, if you've never been abandoned or assaulted or whatever, it's okay to get a little uncomfortable. That is where empathy lives, in the discomfort. That's it. That's where you are tested as a person, right? Do you have empathy? Can you really say to someone, I've never experienced what you're going through, but I want to understand? I'm sorry if you feel like you have to relive your pain or your trauma. And I'm sorry that it may feel like an educational exercise for me or you, but this is the way we connect. I understand that things like rape are uncomfortable. Nobody wants to be pulled into the fountain of pain that comes with sexual assault. It doesn't mean sexual assault doesn't happen. It does. I know, because I've been a victim of it twice. It's the same thing with racism. If you've never experienced it, it doesn't mean it isn't happening. It just means that your privilege has provided you a life where the color of your skin has never had to be an issue. Beautiful for you. Amazing for you. We love that for you. But it doesn't mean that it isn't happening to other people, right? You don't have to have cancer to feel empathy for that, to understand that that's a very real experience. I I am more fortunate than most people in the LGBTQ community. I am bisexual. I have always been very confident in my life choices. I have a mother who is very accepting. I married a man, so my journey, my cross is not nearly as heavy. I wouldn't say that my experience as a bisexual person gives me the authority to speak on what it's like to be gay in America. I would say I have had a fairly privileged experience as part of the gay community. Let's be honest. I have. I've had a fairly privileged experience with it, right? It doesn't mean that other gay people are not struggling, have not been. I think about Matthew, you know, the boy that was beaten and killed and tied to the fence years ago, Matthew Sweet, I think his name was. And I think, my gosh, that could be me. It isn't. It wasn't. But it could have been. It still could be. There are people who could decide that they hate me just because I'm attracted to men and women. That's real. I haven't had that experience, thank God, but it could. Doesn't mean it isn't happening. Matthew Shepard, thank you. Sweet. Ugh, I don't even know where that came from. Shepard, thank you. Matthew Shepard. So, when people come to you with an experience, any experience, remember that just because you haven't experienced it, divorce, infidelity, trauma, abandonment, rape, child loss, infertility, racism, sexism, classism, whatever, it doesn't mean that those things are not happening to other people and that you can't still meet them at their source of the pain, at their trauma, and meet them with empathy. So when my girlfriend was like, stop trying to make it okay. I'm healing, I'm dealing with it, but stop diminishing my experience because you haven't experienced it. You had a dead father at 17, not the same as a father who walked out on you at 4. You're absolutely right. Not the same. I apologize. I was uncomfortable with you feeling less than. I didn't know how to handle that because I love you so much, but I want to understand. That is the work in empathy. There is the work to connect as human beings. I'm sorry. You are right. I don't like to hear the friend I love feel that she is less than because a parent made a choice. I don't like bastard child. I don't like abandonment. I'm not comfortable in it. So, just a reminder to all of us that empathy is the way to connect. It is the way to healing. It is the way to validation. It is the way to love other people. You can still be cool, be down, love hip hop, eat I don't know, lemon icebox pie. You can be whatever, you know. People think that healing and empathy and all of these things are hokey or granola or, you know, old lady or whatever. No, you could still be cool. You could still be down. You could still be, you know, whatever. It doesn't make you hokey or granola. You don't have to start doing yoga. I can't touch my toes and I love people. I believe in empathy. I believe in meeting people where they are. I believe in speaking up for people who need to have a voice beside them to help amplify their voice. I don't want to speak over anybody who's experienced anything. I don't want to speak for somebody. I want to speak next to people that need that. Okay? And I love you when you listen to Coffee Talk and you go like, oh, I don't know if I want to hear what Jamie has to say today. this feels political, or this feels religious, or this feels something I'm uncomfortable with, but then you listen anyway, because you understand that growth and change and evolution can really only happen when we get uncomfortable, when we are willing to hear that other people have had life experiences we have not had. You don't have to experience things to want to help. That's all. So anyway, I don't have to beat a dead horse. I don't have to beat a dead horse. Y'all hear me. Y'all know me. You know what it is. Thank you, Tara. Thank you to everybody who listened to this coffee talk. Today is podcast day. There is a new episode of Tell Me What to Do with Jamie Premack Sullivan. We are talking about sex. We are addressing the uncomfortable issues in our marriage with our bodies. Ladies, your bodies are changing. Men, what happens when one person wants to have a lot of sex? One person feels like it's a chore. It's on your chore list. Whatever it is, today's new episode of Tell Me What to Do is so important. Please, if you have not downloaded Tell Me What to Do with Jamie Premack Sullivan on podcast, please download the podcast, share, tell your friends to listen. We had 20,000 listens on the first episode. 20,000 listens. If you could, I would love to get more listens on the second episode, guys. Please, just put it on and listen, please. The stars, y'all, please don't buy any stars. I don't need any money for Coffee Talk. This is free. You can find the podcast on if you have an Apple iPhone, go to your Purple Podcast app. It's an actual app that comes with your iPhone. It's called Podcast. Click on it, and then in the search bar, type in Tell Me What to Do with, and it'll come up. Click it, hit subscribe, and then click listen to the episode. Y'all, make sure there's no little children around. It is not safe for children. Okay? To anyone sharing this video, please share this video. If you don't have an iPhone, you can go to Stitcher, you can go to Google Play, you can go to iHeart, you can go to Spotify. Anywhere podcasts are hosted, you can look for Tell Me What to Do with Jamie Premack Sullivan. It is podcast day. I'm so excited. Yes, it's on Stitcher. Tell everybody where you find it. Put the link in the comments if you would. Please. It's out now. You can listen right now. And share this video because people need to hear it. I love y'all so much. Have a great day.